Our world, once a wild place, has been split, divided, and built upon. As the population continues to boom, so do buildings, roads, agriculture, towns, and cities. But what does it mean for the wild creatures that we share our planet with? Habitat fragmentation is where the habitat is cut off, surrounded by a dissimilar matrix, resulting in pockets of species with limited or no access to one another. Continuous habitats, such as rainforests for example, are being broken down into smaller patches of habitats. This can be a result of forest fires, floods, or large storms, all which are being made more abundant with the increased climate due to anthropogenic activity. But the most common factor within a rainforest is deforestation. Habitat fragmentation creates smaller patches where the species that inhabit these areas fight to compete with the resources and space. This leads to major localized extinctions. Reproduction is also limited as the paths to find a mate become less hospitable, and accidents occur when species try. Metapopulations, unlike a continuous population, has spatially discrete local populations or subpopulations in which migration between populations is significantly restricted. Metapopulations occur through fragmentation. In a reef, this could be caused by trawlers. Here the populations have been split up into subpopulations or metapopulations. Not only does these islands lead to extinction through limited space and resources, the smaller the patch size means that if a new species was to become established, it would wipe out the residents of the patch, leading to a localized extinction. Another way fragmentation occurs is through coral bleaching, the aquarium business, and aquaculture. Mangroves are being fragmented for shrimp farms, cutting down the nursery of many fish and the home of a unique ecosystem. Many of the species found within the mangroves would find it impossible to survive anywhere else. This extensive aquaculture will lead to many local extinctions. The act of deforestation itself is incredibly harmful for the species, but the separation of populations is even more so. Biodiversity is suffering as more and more of the ecosystem is being used for our food. The farms themselves act like as a barrier, where this inhospitable matrix restricts migration between species. The isolated populations compete for resources, and this over time wipes out species. Populations are dependent on density-dependent factors and density-independent factors. Density-independent factors is where abiotic factors such as fragmented habitats, natural disasters, or climate change have an effect on the population of a species. Density-dependent factors is where biotic factors such as predation, limited resources, and disease affects the population. These are made more abundant by the density-independent factors.